Hi everybody and welcome. This is Stephen over with iFoundAgent, and today I wanted to cover with you how to change the images on your slideshow. The slideshow on your website is customizable. It's it takes a few steps to get in there and edit it, but overall it's something that anybody can do once they've learned some of the basic steps. The first thing I needed to warn you guys though is that we have used various slideshow tools and for different websites. So this video may not be for you. This video is for you if we've done some sort of highly customized slideshow. But basically the tool we're using and we're going to cover today is called Slider Revolution. And if you're not sure which, if this video is right for you, then log into your dashboard and then scroll down towards the bottom. You should see an option down here that says Slider Revolution. So if you see this, then yes, this video is for you. If it says something else down here like Meta Slider or something else, you can stop watching now and move on. Hopefully we'll have a video available for you soon. But I don't have one as of the time that I'm recording this one. So, alright, either way, let's just jump right in. So Slider Revolution is where I want to be to update my slideshow. And I'm actually doing this directly on a client's site. So if I just click on Slider Revolution, it brings me over to this page, and this area is just for your current sliders. And I actually only have one. There's options to make a new slideshow, import, and do other stuff. I'm not going to get into that. Slider Revolution, one of the reasons we use it is because it's been around for a very long time, and it's so robust. It has so many options, and you can do some amazing stuff with it. But obviously we want to keep focused on what you might end up needing every once in a while, which is to change out your slides. And the quickest way to do that is to locate which slideshow is being used on your homepage. So if you have multiple slideshows here, more than one, then you might want to just click around to see which one is being used on your homepage. There is a different way to verify which is being used. Again, because some people do have multiple slideshows and they're not really sure which one's currently being used. Let me just cut over and show you how to do that real quick. You would go over to Appearance and Widgets, and inside of your widgets there's going to be a widget area or a sidebar, basically a group which is where your slideshow lives. I happen to know that on this theme it's under Front Page 1, and it says Revolution Slider, and Choose the Slider says Home Page. So that tells me. You may have a box in here that says Home Slider, maybe a little different. That's one way to verify, what slideshow do I want to edit. And this one is the Home Slider. So I'm going to go over to Slider Revolution again. So one thing I can do here is if I'm not sure how this is going to look, what my edits are going to be, I don't want to maybe mess up my page right away, maybe I can just make a copy of it. So I can just go down here and say duplicate. And let's call it something else, Home Slider Test. And then hit the duplicate button. There it is. So it just made a duplicate of it. Now I can just update. I can just change out my test and take a look at it without worrying about breaking my site. Or I don't think you're really in danger of breaking your site, but making your site look less than ideal, I should say. So here's all my images. I'm actually doing this on a client site. They have some pretty custom images, which is nice, and I think they're going to want to update soon. So there's a couple different things we can do. If, let's say, this image that we have here, we don't want to show it anymore, but we may want to use it in the future, you can disable it by hovering over this little red icon and clicking it. That just disables it. So now it wouldn't be visible on this. So I'm going to go ahead and make this active again by clicking the green button. If I knew I did not want this anymore, I can actually come down here and say delete, and it would remove it. Now it's gone. Okay, and the other thing to remember, guys, is any change that you want to make that you want to save, there's a save button up here. Okay, so every time you make a change, you want to hit save. And then if you ever wanted to see what it looked like, now that I've made my changes, I can hit this little preview button. That's always nice. That message, by the way, guys, that was our firewall acting up. Well, not acting up. It looked, the request that this application gave it thought it looked funny, but a lot of times if you ever get that, you can just refresh and it goes away. So here's my slideshow, and that's looking good. So I can check what it looks like on different devices. So that's how you do that. Okay. So if I wanted to add a slide, I mean, it's got this nice big plus button. I can just hit it. And then I choose, you want a blank slide, a bulk slide. Bulk slide's really good if you know you have like 5 images you want to add to your slideshow. You would hit bulk slides. And then it's really easy. In fact, if you have image slides, this is probably the easiest way to add them, is just to hit bulk, even if it's just one that you're adding. But then you can just go through and add other images to your slideshow. One thing I will say is that this may be something you want to reach out to support for. It's a little more advanced, and you know, there is also the idea that we want to make sure that these images are big enough. You want at least something 1600 pixels wide for a full screen image, and for most of our themes, 1600 by 1000, so 1600 wide and 1000 high in pixels is a good place to start. And then the other thing you want to make sure that these images aren't too large as far as like megabytes. Cameras, even phone cameras nowadays, take pictures that are in the 5 to, you know, 3 to maybe 10 megabytes per picture. That's way too big for a website. And you have to remember that people are going on this on their mobile phone. Maybe you don't always have the best network speeds, and so you really want to keep those small, preferably to around 200 kilobytes per image. So if you need some help with that, reach out to support. So the last thing I was going to show you is just how to add a slide one by one. You can just hit add blank slide, and then it gives you just a transparent, nothing going on in that slide. And then down here you have options. Do you want a main image? Do you want something else? There's all kinds of different options in here. Again, we can get really advanced with this. I'm just going to stick with image. So if I can just hit image, and then I can click this media library button, and it brings me back to this screen where I can say, yes, this is the image I want, and choose it. Or if I need to upload my file still, I can do that from here. Upload and select and go look for it. So, okay, well that concludes our video. This is how to, oh, I'm sorry, doesn't conclude our video. Let me take that back. Once you're done with your slideshow, if you have made a duplicate, as I've done, home slider test, and let's say you want to use this one as your primary over the other one, now that you know it's done, you can go back to Appearance, Widgets, and then find where your slideshow was. So in this case, it was on front page 1. And then where it says choose a slider, now I have another option. There's my test. So if I chose that test and hit save, now that secondary slideshow would be primary. So that's it, guys. Thank you so much for watching. Have a good one.